அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். பயாலஜி தமிழ்நாடு சேனல் சார்பாக உங்களை அன்புடன் வரவேற்கிறோம். இன்றைக்கி நம்ம என்ன பார்க்க போகிறோம் அப்படின்னா, உங்களுடைய ஸ்டேட் போர்டு 12th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம் புக்கில் இருக்கக்கூடிய செகண்ட் லெசன் கிளாசிக்கல் ஜெனட்டிக்ஸ், அதில் 1 வேர்ட்ஸ் நம்ம பார்க்க போகிறோம். அதில் 50 கொஸ்டின்ஸ் பார்ட் 1ல் நாம் பார்க்க இருக்கிறோம். The study of how living organisms receive common traits from previous generations is called genetics. Mention some fields getting benefits from scientific and technological advances in genetics. Agriculture, medicine, forensic science. Name the branch of biological science which deals with the mechanism of transmission of characters from parents to offsprings. Genetics. The term genetics was introduced by W. Batson in 1906. Foundation of classical genetics framed by Gregor Johann Mendel. Study that deals with the structure and function of a gene at molecular level. Molecular genetics. Study that deals with the heredity in groups of individuals for traits which is determined by a few genes. Population genetics. The study deals with the heredity of traits in groups of individuals where the traits are governed by many genes simultaneously. Quantitative genetics, which is called functional units of inheritance. Genes, which is called basic unit of heredity. Genes. Transmission of characters from parents to offsprings is called heredity. The organisms belonging to the same natural population or species that shows a difference in the characteristics is called variation. What are the two types of variation? Continuous variation and discontinuous variation. Which variation occurs within a population? There are some characters which show a limited form of variation. Discontinuous variation. Example for discontinuous variation: style length in primula, plant height of garden pea. In which type of variation the characteristics are controlled by one or two major genes may have two or more allelic forms. Discontinuous variation. In which variation no intermediate form produced. Discontinuous variation. In which type of variation the phenotypic expression is unaffected by environmental conditions. Discontinuous variation. Discontinuous variation is otherwise called qualitative inheritance. Which are the factors combined to affect continuous variation? Environmental and genetic factors. Inheritance of phenotype is determined by the combined effects of many genes, and environmental factors occurs in continuous variation. Continuous variation is otherwise called quantitative inheritance. Example for continuous variation: human height and skin color. Name the raw materials for evolution. Variation. The contribution of Mendel to genetics is called Mendelism. Who is called father of genetics? Mendel. Mendel was born in Heisendorf, Silesia, 22nd July 1822. In which year Mendel started his historic studies on pea plants? (1856). Name the time period Mendel's hybridization experiments on pea plants. (1856 to 1863). How many plants Mendel crossed and catalogued? 24,034 plants. Write the title of Mendel's hybridization research. Experiments on plant hybrids. Mendel's paper was presented and published in The Proceedings of the Brunt Society of Natural History in 1866. What are the methods used to hybridization experiments by Mendel? Mathematics and statistical and scientific methods. Mendel used the term instead genes. Factors. Removing the anther is called emasculation. Name the gene responsible for stem length in Pisum sativum. LE. Name the gene responsible for pod shape in Pisum sativum. V. Name the gene for seed shape in Pisum. R. Name the gene for seed color in Pisum. I. Name the gene for flower position in Pisum. A. Name the gene for pod color in Pisum. GP. How many characters chosen by Mendel in Pisum? 7. At which chromosome of Pisum genes for flower color and seed color are located? Chromosome 1. Mention the chromosome number where no genes of characters chosen by Mendel in Pisum. Chromosome 2, 3 and 6. At which chromosome of Pisum 3 genes are present for the characters chosen by Mendel? Chromosome 4. Pod shape, plant height, flower position. At which chromosome of Pisum gene of pod color is located? Chromosome 5. At which chromosome in Pisum genes for seed shape is located? Chromosome 7. Mendel's experiments were rediscovered by 3 biologists. Mention the names and their countries. Hugo de Vries of Holland, Karl Karens of Germany, Erich von Schermat of Austria. P. Gene A produces a protein responsible for the production of a pigment called anthocyanin. If an individual has 2 identical alleles of a gene, is called homozygous, that is capital T, capital T. An individual with 2 different alleles is called heterozygous condition, capital T, small t. Mendel's non-true breeding plants are heterozygous, called as hybrids. மேலும் பல தகவல்களை தெரிந்து கொள்வதற்கு பயாலஜி தமிழ்நாடு சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணுங்கள். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
பலருக்கு சேவை செஞ்ச நீயும் ஒரு ஹீரோடா. ஒரு கைப்பிடி சோறானாலும் ஷேர் செஞ்சு பாருடா.